G'day there guys! Did you know that the human body is basically 90% water? And you know what that means? We're all cucumbers with anxiety, pretty much. Welcome back to the show, it's Markee with another r/AmiTheA episode. If you love today's content, tell me what you think of it down in the comments, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Posted by user TWConfusedGirl25. Titled, Am I the a-hole for not correcting my stepson when he said both of his mums? On mobile, pre-pandemic. I've been a part of my stepson's life since he was 2. Now he's 5. My husband and his ex are both very involved parents and split custody equally. I don't parent him unless there's a serious issue and my partner needs help. I play more of the aunt role than a parent in his life, but I'm always there when he's staying the nights and days with his father. I usually drop him off to daycare when he's at our house, etc., and his mum or dad pick him up, depending on where he's spending the night. I'm not sure whether they've had the stepmom talk with him, but he's never addressed me as such, and I've never pushed him to. If he wishes to call me that, that's fine. If he wants to call me by my name, that's also fine. I was driving him to his daycare, and as we were going through my kid-friendly playlist, my favorite song played. He pointed out that his mother liked the song, and I said, hey, me too. His exact words were, cool, both my mums like the same song. I didn't think much of it. He must have said the same thing to his mother because when I came after work, my husband confronted me. I told him yes, he had said both his mums. My husband said I should have corrected him then and there, and I'm not his mum. I said, I don't mind being called whatever by the kid, as long as it's not derogatory. What he should or shouldn't call me is a talk reserved for his parents, and I'm not allowed to parent him. He flipped the argument. Since I don't parent him, I shouldn't be called mum. I told him that this is an issue that he and his ex have to handle. I won't push the child into calling and not calling me something. I'm on her side with that one. Why should she have to correct him? It's actually not her job to, and she's not a malicious person in the circumstance being like, you have to call me mum, you have to call me grandmum, you have to call me this and that, which I am not. The kid just really likes this person. It doesn't seem like they have malicious intent, so, I'm inclined to stay on their side for this one. Gonna go with not the a-hole. I just don't think that they should be the ones making decisions here. Don't correct the kid, let the parents do that. Tell the parents that the kid called you this. Let's see what they say about it. Edit. Thank you so much for the not the a-hole responses. There are so many that I'll try to reply to all. My friend had said that it was the parents' decision on what I get called, and was kind of a D move to not agree with them, which was why I posted it here. Things have been quiet for a while, because with the pandemic, ex-wife and B, the son, had gone to her mother's for some downtime. Now that they will be coming back, I think I'll sit them both down and try to discuss my role in his life. When me and husband decide to start a family in the future, I want to make sure what the plan would be. Not the a-hole. You're a step-mum. It's sweet that he sees you as a maternal figure that he can trust. I didn't really think of it that way. Not the a-hole, and honestly, I feel like this is a conversation you should have with your husband. Sure, his ex is also the boy's mum, but why is he so upset that his son is having a good connection with you? I've seen so many posts on here where the stepkids just hate their step-parents, and your stepson actually loves you enough to consider you one of his parents. He should be happy about this. Not the a-hole. I bet the real issue is that he's getting crap from his ex about their son calling another woman mum. Instead of having it out with her, he's mad at his wife. Both this little dude's parents need to check their egos and consider what's best for their son. I was going to say something similar. I bet the ex is ticked and irritating him about it, and he would rather deal with his reasonable wife than his cantankerous ex. Honestly though, if they've told her not to parent him, then this is squarely on their shoulders and they need to stop tramping when she follows their request. So the point, my husband said I should have corrected him then and there and I'm not his mum? Not the a-hole. If you're not his mum, then you're not responsible for correcting his speech either. Can't have it both ways. And he flipped the argument. Since I don't parent him, I shouldn't be called mum. You were taking the kid to daycare. If you're not his parent, I'm assuming your husband is paying you for this service, as you're clearly just a glorified babysitter then. Your husband wants to have his cake and eat it. You are not forcing the kid to do anything he doesn't want, but if he's happy to call you mum, what's even wrong with that? Not the a-hole. If she had corrected him, it would have been hurtful to the child. Him calling her mum was a mark of his love and respect for her. If she said, "I'm not your mum" in that instance, he would probably have felt like she was rejecting him and stomping all over those feelings. And OP replies, according to him, he already has a mum and I'm not it. Ex-wife hasn't gotten in contact with me. She keeps conversations strictly about necessary things and only to my husband. This is such a silly reason. There is no limit to the number of loving adults a kid can and should have in their life. Kid has a bonus mum, if you're okay with being called that, and that's pretty cool. Not the a-hole. Update. Am I the a-hole for not correcting my stepson when he said both my mums? It's been a while since my post, but it got so many responses that I thought I should give an update. A few days after the argument, my husband admitted that he had overreacted, especially because X had made a huge deal out of the situation, and now that he had time to think, he's happy that his son B and I get along so well. We talked about a lot of things, namely, what would happen when we have children. He agreed that it would change the dynamic of our family. He's already told me that he won't be renegotiating the custody, and that his son would be just as much a part of our lives then as he is now. I told him I understood that, but my stand on parenting would then have to change. If we parented them separately, it would only enforce the new family, old family dynamic. He agreed to sit down with his ex and talk to her. We have done a bit of family planning, and how we plan to raise the children, and whether or not those things would be applicable when B was at our home. We met his ex when she came back a few days back. Understandably, they first had a family meeting and addressed what B thinks of me. I'm really happy to say that he likes me and wants to continue hanging out. After that, we had an adult talk. It was awkward because we haven't exactly interacted before. The ex-wife admits that she may have freaked out a little. She said that it was increased by how a co-worker of hers went through a similar situation and her daughter chose the stepmom because she was cooler. I assured her that she would always be his mum and I wasn't taking her place in his life and I wouldn't undermine her. They've agreed to let B call me whatever he chooses. We haven't really set down any parenting roles, but we're taking baby steps. We're going to continue things as they are for now. We will probably have to address things as they go on. For now, we've agreed to sit down a few times a year together and be a family to be. It will be difficult because my husband and ex-wife haven't spent time together since they separated, but hopefully things will work out. For those who asked me whether my ex-wife has a boyfriend, no. She hasn't been in a serious relationship since their divorce. I don't know her well enough to say why, but I know that she does go out on dates. I think it might be because she hasn't found anyone, so as far as B is concerned, she hasn't introduced anyone to him. I think she'll understand my position a little better when she starts a serious relationship, but for now she's okay. She doesn't seek out conversations with me, but she doesn't antagonize me either, so I'll take that. I think that's all there is. Thank you for your comments. You guys really brought up some good points that I hadn't thought of before, and thankfully was able to address them before they became an issue in the future. Edit. Wow, I logged out for some time and came back to so many replies and awards. Thank you so much. You guys really helped me take a good perspective on my family. God bless you guys. Wow, grown-ass adults acting like grown-ass adults? A true rarity. Well done on developing a healthy situation for the kid. This was the best ending possible, and at the end of the day, it's B's choice who his mum and dad are. If his bio mum eventually gets into a serious relationship with a guy, B is more than within his rights to consider the new dude also a father to him. It's always the kid's choice who mum and dad are. It's also good that you guys are handling this as adults. I understand the bio-mum's little freak-out, but it's good that you all came together to discuss this. B is lucky to have you all be in his life. This sub is filled with stories of the same situation that didn't end so well because the adults couldn't put their feelings aside for the good of the kid. I applaud you all. It's awesome everyone is finally being mature about this, and I'm stoked for y'all's future. I will admit, When my ex started dating someone new, I had a hard time with it. It was very scary thinking another woman was going to fulfill a maternal role in my son's life. Now that we're all older and more mature, I have zero qualms. In the end, my son is so loved by his 4 parents, not stepmom and dad, 2 mums and 2 dads who love him fiercely. Now I think we've covered this one before, but there is an update, so we're covering it again. Posted by user SnooMacaroon7686, titled, Am I the a-hole for not letting my child speak her native language at home? Title isn't as bad as it sounds, ha ha ha. My wife is Welsh and I am English, but if you get right down to it, we're both British anyway. She's always been kind of funny about identifying as Welsh and not British, no matter how many times I tell her they're not mutually exclusive. I'm really tired of having to put up with her extreme nationalism. First of all, she insisted that our daughter have a Welsh name, so now my family can't even pronounce it or spell it. I have to put up with jokes about my daughter's name all the time and her name getting spelled wrong all the time. The only primary school in the area is Welsh school, so my daughter has started learning all her schoolwork through Welsh. This is fine, I guess. It's pointless, but other than not being able to help her with her homework, which her mum does anyway, it's not an issue. The issue is that my daughter has started speaking Welsh with her mother's family, her mother, and her friends outside of school. I asked her to stop, but my wife said I was being really rude to ask her to stop speaking in her native language. But she can speak English too? It's not her native language when her father doesn't speak it. My wife said I'm an a-hole because I agreed to raise our child bilingually, but I was under the impression that our daughter would still choose to speak English because it's all around us. She speaks English and Welsh at home, sometimes mixing them both. It's confusing and can't be good for her education to be learning it in a pointless language. What happens when she goes to university in English? My wife says that I should get lessons for Welsh and she would be happy to pay and help, but I really don't see the point in learning a dead language when we can all just speak English. Am I the a-hole for wanting my child to speak English? God, don't you guys just hate it when the extreme nationalist Welsh come out? They're just such a well-known group, and there's a reason why the English hate them. They must just absolutely despise them for taking over their language and conquering everything, right? God, all those people around the world, especially those American, cities with a large Welsh population, they must just be struggling trying to learn while speaking Welsh and English, right? God, that's just terrible. This guy is either trolling or just extremely ignorant, but, you do you, OP. You do suck for saying all of this. The Am I the a-hole is not for wanting your child to speak English. The Am I the a-hole is, am I the a-hole for banning my kid from speaking Welsh? That's it. And yes, you are. You definitely are. Edit. Okay, but now my wife is making me sleep on the couch while she thinks about our relationship. Am I still the a-hole when she's willing to disrupt our child's life because I want my child to speak a language everyone speaks? Yes. Edit. I'm okay with her learning Welsh, just not speaking it at home all the time. It's stupid having a 3-way conversation when people aren't speaking the same language, but my daughter insists on using Welsh. I can see why that would upset you. Edit. I'm going to answer questions that ask me why I married my wife. I married her because I love her. End of. Edits. Going to bed. Some comments have given me some insight and I can't ignore all the You're the a-hole posts. I thought maybe it was just the Welsh being at it again. But, well, there's more of you calling me an a-hole than there are Welsh speakers. I'll have a think and chat with my wife tomorrow. Edits. I'm having a lot of trouble sleeping, I'll be honest. Might have something to do with me being 100% an a-hole to my wife and daughter. A lot of mixed feelings. How do I explain that I still feel like I'm in the right, but know now that I'm wrong? We live in the countryside, and it's been hard with lockdown. I couldn't work, and I was surrounded by all the Welsh in my home without any English outlet of my own. I was wrong and very bitter, and used those bitter feelings against my own family. I'm going to tell my wife that I'll get Welsh lessons, and I plan on couples counseling for us so that I can properly work through my crap. I'd like to say thank you to everyone that's helped me grow up and see that my daughter was more important than my childish, selfish reasons. I was so screwed up, unwilling to learn because I was already behind, and I'd like to thank those who shared their stories of learning Welsh. Updates. Am I the a-hole for not letting my child speak her native language at home? So I posted about 2 weeks ago looking for your judgment. It took a while, but I agree with it. Some developments have happened since then, so I thought I would update. 1. I admitted to my wife I was being an a-hole and was ready to learn Welsh. I've been using Duolingo and sitting down with my daughter and wife while we do my daughter's homework. My wife still laughs whenever I say Lynelli, but here we are. 2. I showed my wife the Am I the A-hole post. She said I was a complete dip crap, but she cried and admitted she has been excluding me on purpose in the hopes that I would learn Welsh if she did it enough. I explained how it made me more resentful, and I had almost left her because of it. We're gonna go to couples therapy. 3. She told me that I need to tell Yanks who pretended that they could say Lanfair PG to Kachow Bant and Cow Didi what? They were some of the first words I learned in Welsh, so they can be yours too. 4. I sent my dad a message telling him to ask my mother if she can start pronouncing Megan the way my wife wants it. Megan likes it the Welsh way too, and Fo vomited when I asked her if she liked the way my nana said it. My mother hasn't said anything, but my wife and I taught Megan to tell her, Nana, I like my name said like this when my mum says it wrong. We'll have to see where this goes, since my mum has said in the past that she won't pronounce it like a sheep-shagging pleb. I will be putting my foot down if she starts. 5. There was someone who pretended to be my wife on another post. I reported it, and it got taken down. I did not make my wife sleep on the couch that night, lol. Just some sad person creating made-up drama. And 6. My daughter and I managed to get a 5-star island on Animal Crossing. Not relevant, but we managed it this week. Have a nice day, and cheers for your help. I'm glad with this update. And you should put your foot down with your mum, as what she says is really, really rude. The mother has been warned. For the longest time, I've had my mother tramping about my wife, and my wife tramping about my mother. I now see that playing mediator was wrong. My daughter and my wife will always come first. I'm Welsh. I think you need to bring your mum down a peg or two. Sheep-shagging pleb comment really annoyed me, as it comes from when the English oppressed the Welsh. People have been convicted using that term as it is a racially aggravated term. Also, Welsh is not a dying language. Your daughter will have access to a lot of bursaries when she's older. Further to the language aspect, the English broke the Welsh language where there are 2 dialects of it. Your mother needs to realize that she's only hurting your daughter. I can't say it. I didn't see your original post at the time, but God, you were so English in it. In a bad way, sorry. I'm Irish, and we spent centuries trying to get England out of our country and to stop interfering with our language. We've never quite recovered, and Welsh is far healthier than Irish is now. It's heartbreaking. You've seen the lights, but don't be that English stereotype who tries to wipe out other cultures. Good on you for starting to learn Welsh. Okay, and I think that's where we're going to end today's episode, guys. As always, I do hope you enjoyed it, and maybe even learned something from these stories. Just want to say a quick shout out to my Patreon subscribers and my channel members. You guys should be on the screen right now. If you do see yourself, I want you to give yourself a little pat on the back for being amazing and supporting me on this channel, this little journey we're going on the YouTubes. I really appreciate it, and you guys enabled me to do all this amazing work. So if you do see yourself, I love your face and I'm happy to see you. Also guys, if you want to pitch in your own support, you don't have to, but channel links are down in the description below to support the Patreon, the channel membership, whatever you want to do. It's kind of like tipping me if you feel like I'm doing a good job on this channel. I will be opening up avenues for content on those in the future. Just right now I'm kind of bogged down and stuck in Ireland, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway guys, with that said, I do hope you have a wonderful day today. Whatever you're up to, I'd love to know down in the comments below. I do hope you have a good day, night, sleep. Whatever you're up to today, tell me, and I'll see you in the next episode, guys. Bye.